Hi guys, Colin here, and today I'm tackling another pedal modification. This is the Boss OS-2. The OS-2 from Boss is a very interesting pedal because it has a control that allows you to go from overdrive sounds to distortion sounds or have a mix anywhere in between. So at one end of the scale you've got your Tube Screamer style overdrives and at the other your DS1 style compressed distortion. Sensitive adjustments of the level, distortion and colour controls allows you to get very close to the sound of a valve amp. But obviously being Boss, it's still not quite there. There still is a little bit of a cheapness to the pedal. But can we resolve that issue with a modification? Well, yes, I believe we can. This pedal is for a customer of mine and he's provided me with a component list which should do a modification that's called the Marshall mod, getting this pedal a bit closer to a valve response. So without any further ado, let's get inside it and see what we can change. So this is the interior of the OS-2 distortion pedal. So this is the circuit board here. For this modification, I'm going to be changing out capacitors and diodes. I'll put all the values on screen so you don't have to hear me reading out the 0.0 whatevers. But the capacitors we're going to be changing are capacitors 16, 18, 23, 27 and 28. So that's the three foil caps, this one here, and that one there. And there's going to be two electrolytics, that one and that one. In addition to 28 here being changed, there's also going to be a resistor in parallel with that capacitor for that change. There's also going to be two diodes changing, so they're using the diodes to little LEDs, diodes 3 and diode 8. So diode 3 is behind these electrolytic caps here, and diode 8 is nestled in beside that ceramic. It might be a little bit easier to see these modifications on the board now that they've been made. You can see that the capacitor here, the foil cap here, this red one and this little white one here are ones that I changed. And the blue electrolytics there and there were also changed. And you can see the diodes now replaced with a yellow and a red LED. The colours of the LEDs do matter to an extent. The different materials that make up these LEDs will have a different voltage that they run at, etc. So they will get a different response from them. I decided to try a yellow and a red just to see how it sounded, and it sounded pretty good, so I left it as it was. Also, you might be wondering where the resistor is that should be in parallel with this capacitor. Well, I decided it's probably best if I mounted it on the underside of the board where there was a bit more room. One other thing you may not see with these modifications is when you change a diode for an LED, when the current of the signal runs through the pedal, those LEDs light up. So you can watch the little red and yellow LEDs light up as I play here. I see Keeley using that as his all-seeing eye. He'll put those LEDs out front, drill a hole through the chassis and mount them so you can actually see that happening. But for this pedal, I'm going to try and leave its exterior alone as much as possible and just have those LEDs flashing away on the inside. I'm going to give you some sound samples of this pedal now, unmodified, then modified, so you can see the differences that take place. For these sound samples, I'm going to be running this guitar. This is my new build with the Fossil inlay. I've not shown it properly on YouTube yet, but this is it. So ash body, maple neck, Fossil inlay, my own pickups in there, and we're going to be going through the pedal and then into the Bugera 333 Infinium on its clean channel. So prior to the modification, this pedal was lacking a lot of bass frequency grunt, so it wasn't quite giving the full body that you'd expect from a big Marshall amp sort of sound. Now, with the modification, you're getting plenty of bass end, plenty of body, plenty of volume as well. It gets a lot louder. It takes a little bit of a knock to the level of distortion you can get from it, but that's quite a good thing considering too much distortion just sounds compressed and sort of fake, if you like. It doesn't quite sound natural, whereas backing it off a little bit, increasing the volume and increasing the frequency response that the pedal has gives it a much more natural sounding distortion. So that's the Boss OS-2, a great sounding distortion pedal, even better if you get it modified. So you can either follow this tutorial, do it yourself, it's quite simple, or find yourself a tech who's willing to do it for you. So that's that. If you want to see more of my content, remember to subscribe and you'll see all the videos I'm bringing out. I'm also available on Facebooks and the Google Pluses, and I've now got a Twitter as well. I'll have all the links in the description box below. Also leave me a comment. I like seeing your comments. I guess that's everything for now, guys. Keep it loud.